Hello, thanks for checking out the video. Today's trip finds us at Heron Bay again. I've made a couple videos from here. It's a little bay just north of Dolphin Island. It is the springtime. We're going to be seeing if we can catch some redfish in the back of some creeks, maybe some trout, maybe a flounder. Not too sure what's going to happen, so stick with me. Let's see how it goes. Starting out this morning, throwing an old wooden topwater. It's a high roller. It's got a little metal bead in the back to kind of keep it nose out of the water. Back down, walking the dog a little bit on this bank line. Hoping to get a redfish if I can find one tailing. Probably fish this way for maybe 30-35 minutes. Never did get any sniffs on topwater, so I'm going to go in the back of a little creek and see if I can figure something out there. So topwater wasn't the way to go. Starting out again with the old salty Ned shrimp. I've made a few videos using these things in the past. It's just a little shrimp that's just maybe 2 inches long. Put it on a Ned head. It's not really a power presentation. You just throw it out and kind of hold it there. If the fish are keying on glass minnows, sometimes this salty Ned shrimp's the way to go. Just hopping it here at this point. I've seen some glass minnows kind of shooting around this corner here. So I think I'm checking the house alarm. I got an alert on it. And I've got the line in the water, so it's just kind of held there while I'm checking the alarm on my phone. I guess that fish was just hanging on, looking at it while it was sitting still, and as soon as I twitched it, he hit it. That's cool. That's a keeper speck. And this fish is going to go just under 16 inches, about 15 3/4. So the state of Alabama's got to be 15 inches, and he does make it. So put him in the cooler bag. Shrimpies. Rubbing that little jig on that speckled trout slime. It's a nice natural scent. Alright, these little trout, they're fun and they're loaded up on this little corner here, but they're not very big. I guess I caught the biggest one out of the school. Let's get this guy unhooked and see if there's anything bigger in there. That's pretty much the same exact fish as before. Just little 13, 14, 12-inch trout. I think that's about enough of these guys. Gonna move to a different little section on this corner and see if we can't upgrade our catch here. Whatever this is feels a little bigger. It's not peeling too much drag, but it definitely feels more solid than those little dinky trout. Let's see here what we got. Fish. Jeez. Oh man, it's a hardhead catfish. And if these guys stick you, they'll definitely ruin your day. Gonna be careful about how we unhook this fella. Gonna get him netted and try to unhook him in the net. That's the smartest way to deal with these fellas. Get your pliers, unhook him in the net, just flip him out. You never have to take a chance. The bite kind of wound down a little bit around that corner, so I decided to try to get super shallow and super skinny. There's a little creek system in Heron Bay that connects to another creek system, and I'm going to try to explore it because I don't believe I've ever done that. And when I say it gets skinny, it gets real skinny. Like, you can only do this on high tide. So I'm having to just kind of navigate my way through here, looking at the map every now and then to try to make sure I'm actually somewhat near the creek. And you can see it's getting real shallow. I cut a lot of this out. It probably took me 35 minutes to get through here. And trying to get through there. And we've almost got it. Almost got it. So that little section you just saw took about 35 minutes, and I stood up and poled around at one point in time. We've come out to the other side of that creek, trying to sneak up behind some of these fish. And somewhere up through here I had a little redfish shoot past my boat. Pretty darn sure it was a redfish. It didn't spook like a mullet. It kind of ran around in that J pattern like a redfish. So I do believe they're in this area, and I'm using the Southern Salt Hoodwink at this point. Just trying to throw it out, hop it along. It's their white death minnow color. Hopping it along this grass line up here, just hoping that maybe that redfish was in a school and there's another fellow with him. I'd say that's a bingo. Looks like we hooked up with a little red right here. He's taking us all around. He's not too big, but I definitely think he'll be slot. Let's get this guy in. Trying to get better about lipping him in by hand. I know it looks better for the camera than scooping him up with a net. So just trying to get this guy. If it was a tournament or something, I'd scoop him on up with that net. But trying to grab him. There we go. All right. So we had to work hard for that redfish. Had to get skinny and come around behind him. 17 1/2. And those hoodwinks will get it done sometimes. Not a bad bait, not a bad fish. Putting him in that cooler for dinner along with that speckled trout. So we are looking at the Heron Bay Bridge right there by Jemison's, straight ahead of us, and this is pretty much a straight east wind, and the tide is falling out, and this current and the wind and all that was just killing us. I could not stay straight in line with the bridge. As the tide was coming out, it's like it was trying to suck me out of Heron Bay, so I end up getting to the other side of the bank, way below the bridge. And I was kind of scared for a moment. I didn't know if I was ever going to make it back. I think it took me like over an hour and a half to get from one end of Heron Bay to the other. What normally would take me like 15 minutes. But we made it, and good grief, I'm tired after this trip. So let that be a warning to you. Don't paddle a big wide kayak whenever it's a straight wind against you and the tide's falling to Heron Bay. Could be bad. Well, that was a fun trip. Kind of scary at the end there, paddling back in that straight east wind. The wind was kind of brutal, but wasn't a good meat haul trip. Only got 2 fish to bring home, but it was a pretty good trip as far as fish catches. You know, caught a decent bit of little baby trout, 1 keeper, catfish, redfish. So gotta be adaptable sometimes, and that's what today was. Check out that Ned shrimp. It kind of saved the day as far as the trout goes. The Hoodwink's a good bait. So see you on the next one. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think.